Deep within the wasteland ruins lies a forgotten machine, waiting for a master to claim its power. Hidden inside the rusted frame, we discover the keys and the gold that will fund this restoration. The team verifies the treasure, which provides the necessary resources to transform this wreck into a beast.
An initial inspection reveals extensive structural damage requiring immediate attention before any heavy modification can legally begin.
They position the hydraulic jack under the heavy steel frame to elevate the chassis for better access.
Decades of corrosion have seized the critical bolts, making removal a test of strength and pure patience.
When manual tools fail, the team uses cutting grinders to slice through the stubborn and rusted steel.
With the vehicle securely suspended, and the mechanics can safely navigate beneath the massive rig to assess damage.
The rear axle shows signs of severe stress fractures that must be reinforced to handle heavy loads.
They select heavy industrial steel plates to patch the armor and provide superior protection for the driver.
The precision welding fuses the reinforcement plates to the axle housing, creating a bond stronger than the original.
Quality control is essential, as these welds must endure extreme vibration and impact during the coming journey. The team prepares the crane to lift the massive power plant that will drive this mechanical beast.
Slow and steady movements ensure the heavy engine does not swing and damage the fragile surrounding components. The alignment is critical here, as the motor mounts must sit flush to prevent vibration and structural failure. Heavy-duty bolts are torqued to factory specifications, ensuring the engine remains secure during high-speed maneuvers.
Connecting the transmission to the rear axle requires lifting the heavy drive shaft into the correct alignment. The universal joint slides into the yoke, completing the mechanical link that transfers power to the wheels.
Securing these bolts is vital because a drive shaft failure at speed would be catastrophic for the vehicle.
Now begins the delicate process of lowering the armored cab onto the newly prepared and reinforced frame. Every inch matters as the team guides the massive steel structure to avoid crushing the delicate lines. Gravity takes over, and the cab settles onto the mounts, locking the two halves of the vehicle. They insert the primary mounting bolts, which anchor the driver compartment securely to the rolling chassis below. From below, the locking nuts are tightened, ensuring the cab remains stable even on the roughest terrain.
The complex nervous system of the vehicle is fed through the firewall to connect the dashboard controls.
The crew installs the refurbished seats, providing a crucial layer of comfort for the long road ahead.
Proper seat installation ensures the driver stays firmly positioned behind the wheel during intense off-road driving. Heat shrink tubing is applied to all electrical connections to waterproof the system against the harsh elements.
Power is restored to the system as the main battery cables are connected to the electrical grid.
The dashboard illuminates, signaling that the electrical systems are active and ready for the first engine start.
With all systems checked, the team prepares to fire the engine and bring the machine to life.
The massive diesel engine roars into existence, shaking the frame with raw power and mechanical vibration energy.
The air compressor builds pressure in the tanks, which is essential for the braking and suspension systems.
Holding steady pressure confirms that the pneumatic lines are sealed and the brakes will function safely.
They mount high-intensity auxiliary lights to the roof, ensuring visibility during the dark nights of travel.
The electrical feeds are routed to the roof, connecting the powerful spotlights to the central control panel switches.
A test of the lighting system reveals a blinding output capable of cutting through the thickest dust. The shiny steel is coated in matte black paint to reduce glare and provide a tactical appearance.
They intentionally distress the finish to give the vehicle a look that suggests it has survived hell.
This weathered aesthetic acts as camouflage, blending the rig into the harsh and unforgiving wasteland environment perfectly. Mounting these giant rubber tires requires specialized equipment to stretch the bead over the heavy steel rims.
The first heavy wheel is lifted onto the hub, marking a major milestone in the vehicle assembly.
The dual rear wheels are installed next, providing the necessary stability and load-bearing capacity for cargo.
With the wheels attached, the supports are removed, and the rig stands on its own suspension system.
The heavy-duty springs compress under the weight, confirming the suspension is calibrated for the armored chassis.
Inside the cab, the driver tests the steering mechanism to ensure the linkage moves freely without binding.
The hydraulic steering box pushes the heavy tires, turning them with ease, despite the massive friction involved.
A thorough inspection reveals a critical fluid leak in the high-pressure line of the steering system.
Hydraulic fluid leaking onto the floor indicates a loose fitting or a damaged seal that needs replacement.
The mechanic quickly addresses the leak by tightening the fittings and checking the line for any cracks. After cleaning the area, the system is retested to ensure the repair holds under high system pressure. The seal holds firm and the steering system is now declared operational and ready for the road.
Attention turns to the rear cargo hatch, where the security of the payload is of utmost importance.
The reinforced door slams shut, creating a secure vault for whatever valuable resources the team transports.
Communication is survival, so a long-range radio is installed to keep contact with the base.
A quick radio check confirms that the transmitter is broadcasting clearly on the designated emergency frequency channel.
The driver pumps the brake pedal to cycle the pneumatic valves and ensure immediate stopping power response.
Rear brake lights illuminate instantly, verifying that the electrical signal from the pedal reaches the tail lamps.
A worn door seal is identified, which could allow toxic dust and fumes to enter the cabin. Fresh rubber stripping is installed around the frame, creating a hermetic seal against the outside atmosphere.
The mechanic applies intense heat to a bent bumper bracket to soften the metal for reshaping repairs.
Hammer blows reshape the glowing steel, correcting the deformity and restoring the structural integrity of the bumper.
As the metal cools, it hardens back into its original form, ready to absorb future impacts.
The restoration is complete, and the once rusted frame now stands as a formidable war rig.
Every inch of the vehicle has been modified for survival, turning a civilian truck into a tank.
The workshop doors open to reveal the harsh world that this machine was built to conquer today.
The war rig rolls out into the light, its engine purring with a deep and menacing rhythm.
Trouble arrives quickly as a rival scavenger spots the fresh build and moves in to intercept.
The driver reacts, instantly shifting gears to unleash the full power of the newly rebuilt engine.
Massive tires tear into the sand, propelling the heavy vehicle forward with surprising speed and raw aggression. The enemy attempts a collision, but the reinforced armor plating easily deflects the attack without sustaining damage. Using the superior weight of the rig to and the driver counters the attack and pushes the enemy back.
The rival loses control in the loose sand, unable to match the engineering superiority of our machine.
With the threat neutralized, the war rig continues its journey, proving the quality of the restoration work. Internal gauges show optimal operating temperatures, proving the cooling system can handle the extreme desert heat load.
The low-end torque allows the heavy vehicle to climb steep dunes that would trap lesser machines. The suspension absorbs the impact of the landing, protecting the chassis and the driver from severe shock.
Fuel levels remain sufficient, allowing the team to push deeper into the wasteland without fear of stranding.
As darkness falls, the auxiliary lights cut through the night, illuminating the path for the weary driver. Navigating the narrow canyon requires focus, as the lights reveal jagged rocks waiting to tear the tires.
A sudden noise alerts the driver, suggesting that the rough terrain may have loosened a vital component. A quick roadside inspection is necessary to identify the source of the rattle before it causes failure.
The vibration has loosened a skid plate bolt, which is easily tightened to restore silence to the ride.
With the minor issue resolved, the journey continues into the night, with the machine running smoothly again.
Morning light reveals the silhouette of the war rig standing tall against the burning orange desert sun.
The destination appears on the horizon, offering a safe haven for the crew and their valuable machine. The guards recognize the vehicle and open the heavy gates, allowing the successful expedition to enter safely.
Survivors gather to admire the engineering marvel that has returned from the wasteland intact and fully operational.
The driver pays respect to the machine that protected them, proving the value of the restoration effort.
The name on the side is now earned, as the vehicle has proven its worth in combat. There is no rest for the machine, as the settlement crew begins preparing it for the next mission.
This vehicle is more than just metal and rubber. It is the lifeline that keeps this community alive.
Routine checks ensure that the rig remains ready to depart at a moment's notice for emergency supply runs.
The engine idles with a steady rhythm, a mechanical heartbeat that signifies the enduring spirit of survival.
The road calls once again, and the war rig turns to face the endless horizon of dust.
As it disappears into the sunset, and we know that this machine will continue to rule the furious road.